afternoon, Facebook friends and family, supporters of LeMoyne-Owen College. We are back. It is the 8:07 Giving Day Telethon. That's right, from 8:07 a.m. to 8:07 p.m. we will be here talking with friends, supporters, alumni, students about their love for LeMoyne-Owen College and why it's important to give. My next guest is Miss Peggy Lee. Miss Lee is an adjunct professor and has an interesting story to tell about her association, her family's association with LeMoyne-Owen College. Good afternoon, Miss Lee. How are you?
I'm fine. Glad to be here.
Thank you for being here. Tell us your LOC story.
Okay, my LOC story goes back when I was in high school, actually. I am very familiar with the campus of LeMoyne College. I have two sisters who graduated from here, and my oldest sister, Ernestine Lee Henning, lives in Los Angeles now. She was one of the first students who sat in, and they were a group of students who came from LeMoyne. Owen College students also sat in, but that started the civil rights movement here in Memphis, Tennessee. And so those LeMoyne students stepped out at a time when it was not popular to step out. And they were very courageous students. And so my sister Ernestine was in the first group to be arrested. And that, of course, set off a lot of excitement in my house. And we followed her, of course. She was arrested, I believe, 3 times. I'm not sure. And so we became involved as a family through that route, through her being arrested here. She was also Miss LeMoyne at the time she was here. Later on, I had another sister, Elaine Lee Turner, who was also arrested. And from that point on, so I should just say that there are 7 sisters and 7 brothers, so we have quite a large family. All of us were in some way a part of the movement. But the movement started here at LeMoyne, and it was a very momentous time in our history. And so from my eldest sister, who's also the eldest in my family, she was arrested, and that was followed by my sister Sandra Faye, Brenda, then Elaine, who was a student here, who's also Miss LeMoyne, by the way, my sister Joan, myself, and my youngest sister Susan. So all of us were arrested as a result, and it was a direct result of the fact that my oldest sister Ernestine had been arrested here from one of the original students here in Memphis. So we were arrested, I think, a total of like 20 something times. And it really sparked the civil rights movement here in Memphis, Tennessee. And it all started here on the LeMoyne campus. And we really have to venerate those students who were bold enough to step out. Many of them were punished as a result of those arrests. And at least one student was expelled. So it wasn't a popular thing at the time. People give them a lot of credit today, but there was a lot of pushback on it, not only from officials, but also from persons in the school community. And, that's just the way it was. So we have to look at it the way things were. Things change after a time, but in the beginning, it was not a very popular thing. And it was something that my family, beginning with my sister Ernestine, it was a cause that we had to get involved in. And from that point of the sit-ins to picketing for job discrimination, marches, I met Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture here on the campus of LeMoyne, and a lot of personalities that you wouldn't think of now. They met here on the campus of LeMoyne. And so this was the place to be. This was where the civil rights movement had started. Marion Barry was also one of those students who came to the campus. He was not a student at that time. I think he had gone on to another institution, but he came back to the campus and sparked the interest and set the stage for the civil rights movements and the sit-ins that happened here on the LeMoyne campus. And so this is the birthplace. This is actually the birthplace of the civil rights movement right here on LeMoyne-Owen campus. It was just LeMoyne then. But I think everyone in Memphis and around the country needs to know that. And those students now are dispersed all over the United States. They want to be a part of the LeMoyne-Owen family and consider themselves part of the LeMoyne-Owen family.
Thank you for that history. Why is it important for prospects to consider LeMoyne-Owen College for their undergraduate education?
Yeah. Well, of course, it's an HBCU, and it was there for us when no other school was there for us. And it had the brightest and the best, and those students were the ones who were the trailblazers. And I think we need to always remember to maintain our heritage, to maintain this school, because this school was here for us at a time when we had no other schools to go to here in Memphis and in a great part of the South. So it's important for us to preserve what we have so that we will not forget the struggles and the history of Black people here in the United States. And so this is an integral part of who we are, and we want to maintain and make sure that it's preserved for future generations. So I think it's important for students to know that there's certainly a element of pride that goes along with that. And so students from all over the country, as a professor, I see students from all over the country who come here to LeMoyne. And it's important that they know what that history is, especially today, because in a lot of ways we have forgotten our institutions. But lest we forget, we should not forget, and we should always maintain that history.
Agreed. And speaking of future generations, we want you to help us support future magicians and current magicians by giving in denominations of 807 for 807 Giving Day for 807 Walker Avenue. We need to meet the goal of at least 6 figures today. We're just under $20,000 away from that goal of reaching 6 figures. We're at $80,394. We need to reach at least, I want to exceed 100,000, but we need to get there, and you can help us. You can text your gift to Give to LOC. Text that to 72727. You can go on our website, www.givetoloc.com, or you can even call us 901-435-1539. Thank you for being here, Ms. Lee. We'll be back.
Thank you. You're welcome.
We're back, Facebook family and friends. I'm being joined by Ernest E. Maplin Jr. from the class of 2014. Welcome, Ernest.
Thank you for having me on today.
You are most welcome. Now, you really answered the call because I posted something this morning saying, I need to fill my 1 o'clock hour. I need a student or an alum, and Ernest literally answered the call. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for putting it out there on social media. It just lets us know how well technology works for us in this age. Because I know back in the 90s, we would not be able to do something like this fast. So thank you for using that platform for us.
Sure, you're welcome. Ernest, tell us your LOC story.
My LOC story actually starts before I came here in 2008. I wasn't really the best student in high school, not because I didn't have the academic endurance, but I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And wavering through those opportunities inside of high school and, meeting new friends and going to a really prestigious high school, Houston High in Germantown, Tennessee. Shout out to the class of 2008. That school was known for pushing out students to go to college. It was college or we are going to the military service. Those were really the options coming out of Houston High. And like I said, I wasn't really the best student. And when I got to my senior year, I said, you know what, let me buckle down because all of my friends are going to UT Chad, Harvard, just all over. And I didn't want to be left behind. And
This is wonderful. We talked about relationships and how impactful LeMoyne-Owen College is. This is wonderful. I can't make this stuff up. This is how great this place is. How great this place is. So I know while you're gathering yourself, I know you're pretty involved.
yes.
And I know you were former Mr.
Yes.
LOC.
Yes.
I imagine that was a wonderful experience too.
It was. I got to meet so many people, travel. Oh, I didn't think I was gonna get emotional about this.
That is okay. So I usually ask a question about how did LOC impact you? And I see it.
It's
I hear
here.
it.
It's here. Like before I came here, I wasn't like this, and now I'm a professional. Now I have my own business. So I just can use everything that I've learned here, and I'm really proud of being able to say, hey, I went to school here. Let me go show you where I walked around on campus. Let me tell you a little story that I heard. It may not be true. It may it may not be the most interesting, but let me tell you a story. And so being here, and I actually was here longer than the normal 4 years, because when I got here, I was just like, man, I got to figure out what I want to do. I got to figure out what I want to do, because I feel like I wasted my time in high school. And when I got here, I said, all right, I got to buckle down. I got to get it. I got to get it right, because back to the story before I got emotional. I was able to apply for my financial aid and just filled it out. And I actually filled it out here in the computer lab.
Your FAFSA?
My FAFSA. I filled it out here in the computer lab. I remember just like it was yesterday, because we had a church member who had passed away, and we were at a very small church, and I was just doing it because they told us to do it, and we were grieving, and things were going on, and I did it and moved on. because I knew I had to finish my last year of high school, and I knew my GPA was not where it needed to be at all. We're talking about like a 1.8. And my senior year, I got it together. I pushed it all the way up to a 2.0. And then I said, all right, I got to figure out what I'm going to do. And my mom was telling me, you got to make a decision. And it's either the military, you got to keep working at Kroger, or you got to go to college. You got to make a choice. And I knew I didn't want to go into the service because I just had this fear of doing it. As an 18-year-old, I was like, I got to get sent away. I don't know anybody. It just was an instant fear. I said, so no, that's not it. Working at Kroger, I liked my job at Kroger. I feel like looking back now, that was one of the easiest jobs I ever had. And I should have just stayed disciplined, but I had other plans. And I chose to say, hey, let's go to college. And I filled out so many applications. I spent a lot of application fee money. So I used my money from Kroger to pay for all of my application fees. We're talking about I applied to TSU, UT Knox, anywhere I was applying, because talking to my friends, I'm like, hey, where you going? Oh, I'm going here. Okay. They got just telling me good things about the school that they were applying for and getting their acceptance letters. And I felt like I was getting left behind. And now looking back, I was just getting ready. And I applied to LeMoyne. That was the very last one. I said, if I don't get into LeMoyne, I'm just gonna go work at Kroger. We'll figure it out later. And picked up the application. It was a paper application. That just lets you know how much technology has changed since 2008 into now. The application was, it had been in my room. It wasn't bent or anything like that. And I filled it out, pushed it in. I got accepted. Whew, talk about a weight off your shoulders. After that, we had to think about, okay, how we pay for it, because I forgot, and I didn't know how college was paid for. I just thought that you apply and you go. And we got the, I think once I got accepted, we started looking at how much that it cost to go to school yearly. And it was pretty expensive. And I remember my mom looking at me and just like, all right, we got to figure out some options. She was trying to fill out some loans and whatnot. And, just trying to put, 2 and 2 together to make, 10,000. And ended up getting the award letter from the financial aid office, and everything was covered. And so all I needed to do was show up, and I did. Ended up being like a 3.8 my first semester. And then after that, I got a 3.7 by the end of my freshman year. Because when I got here, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go here because my mom said, hey, go here. This is the only college that accepted you. I was just doing it because she said to do it. And once I got here, I was like, man, I really can try some stuff out. Like, I can be a part of stuff. I could, make new friends. And it just fueled me a little bit. So I'm really, really glad about the decision. So that's really my story. Once I got here, I hit the ground running. I got involved with different organizations, met people, told them what I wanted to do, tried my best to articulate it, and it sharpened up every year until I left and started teaching. And now I haven't looked back. So my story, I wouldn't say that, it was a tragic story. It was more of I didn't have any accountability or discipline. And so as a teacher now, that's what I try to instill in the children that I have now. Consistency, discipline, and accountability.
Thank you for that. I love that testimony. And you're local, so I need to take you on the road with me.
Okay,
Especially at the high school and middle school.
yes, I actually I currently teach middle school at Compass Community Schools in Orange Mound, and I got my LOC alum banner in the back, and this is the thing. This is a thing that I do every year with my kids, just to build up a relationship. I say, hey, y'all can ask me whatever questions y'all want to ask me, but I only do it on the first day of school. And so, some kids, they don't come on the first day. And this year was really a different year for me because this is the earliest I've ever started. I actually started working July 21st. So some parents like, nah, we're just gonna wait until August, or we want to wait and see how COVID is going to affect education and stuff like that, which I understand. And but it was a good way to build up relationships with the kids to say, hey, you can ask me whatever you want to ask me, and they will always every year they would ask me, what college did you go to? Why did you choose to be a teacher? So being able to do it on TV, it sounds great.
Tell me your fondest memory before we say goodbye.
My fondest memory. My fondest memory, I got a lot of them, but I'm just going to give you just one that's off the top of my head that leads me to where I am now. So I would always see there was a place in the student center where you can apply for jobs. So, some people, they needed jobs and they needed things that, they can help them financially, like internships, paid and unpaid. And I would always look to see, all right, is this something that aligns to me? Is it in my price range? And I looked one year, I believe it was the end of my sophomore year, and I was able to find a paid internship through the Memphis Urban League. And I was able to become a servant leader intern through Freedom Schools. And that was my introduction into the classroom. So I had, I think about maybe a class of 8 or 10 to where we would do specific reading activities and, just really get their literacy levels up by, reading every day. And getting that opportunity from LeMoyne gave me a sense of like, I think I could do this. And I had to look back.
Wonderful. I appreciate your testimony and your time. Why should those prospects, why should they consider LeMoyne, and why is it important to give?
Well, I believe you should choose, not just because of my tears, but just for what the school stands for: leadership, opportunity, change. You may not get all of the letters, but each of those letters represents something that will impact you. And I can speak for myself. I've had several opportunities to say, yes, I'll do this. No, I won't do this. And it led me to be who I am today. So look at what we stand for: leadership, opportunity, change. Which one do you want to do? Do you want to do 2 of them? Do you want to do 3 of them? Do you want to just do 1? I say choose based off of what we stand for and make it happen, and get to know some people that's going to push you in the right direction.
Sounds good. We want you to give. We need to reach 6 figures. We need to reach 6 figures. How can you give? You can text lowercase letters give to LOC to 72727. You can call 1-901-435-1539, or you can go to www.givetoloc.com. We have until 8:07 p.m. to reach 6 figures and beyond. See you in an hour.
birthday